Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, the Virgin Islands Attorney General announced today that the territory was defrauded of $2 million that would have assisted in getting citizens in compliance with federal ID mandates. Former director of the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, along with two co-conspirators, were arrested on counts of embezzlement and other white-collar criminal charges. News 2's Stephanie Brown reports.
$2 million of funds from Homeland Security to aid the Virgin Islands with compliance with the new federal ID cards was misused through a pattern of fraud, deception, and trickery, according to the Virgin Islands Attorney General.
We are here to announce the arrest of Saeed Jilani, owner of BizVI, Jerris Brown, former director of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and Gregory Christian, former project director of BMV.
On the heel of the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. Congress passed the Real ID Act to establish set identification standards across the U.S. as a vital component of national security. Locally, bills pertaining to the Real ID Act and senior citizens were discussed on a legislative floor recently.
The Real ID identification card will allow individuals to travel on aircrafts or go into federal facilities.
Would the senior card afford that same availability?
Basically how it is right now, no.
Okay.
It only allows you to get discount.
The bill was passed and seniors have to comply to receive government discounts. The Attorney General exclaimed that white-collar crimes can deeply impact the economic stability of the territory.
People in the end suffer. You have to go, in this case it's factual, go to the Treasury to get money to pay for something that somebody else had agreed to pay for. So it actually holds us back.
In November of 2016, the Virgin Islands Department of Justice informed that they were putting resources into tackling fraud-related and public corruption crimes such as this.
And this is a classic example of how public corruption actually holds back the territory. As I said, Alabama, Maryland, go down the list, Georgia, Florida, they all applied and received funds for this same program. We applied, received the funding. They're Real ID compliant, we're not.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Now, Saeed Jilani, owner of BizVI, was apprehended by federal agents in Massachusetts and is awaiting extradition back to the territory. The Attorney General stated that he believes the Department of Justice has a strong case. Be sure to count on 2 to keep you updated. Meanwhile, the insolvency of the Virgin Islands government employees system was brought further into light at a Governor Mapp's State of the Territory speech. A St. Thomas-based group entitled Government Retirees United for Fairness will be meeting tomorrow with the Attorney General in attempts to stop the GERS insolvency. Here's more on that.
What may happen tomorrow with the title board. Titling board, it's by statute. The Revised Organic Act, Section 12, provides that if citizens would like to have a binding initiative, they may put together a question and petition the supervisor of elections to conduct a hearing, which would include the supervisor of elections, the Attorney General, and the Legislative Council to review the question, a summary of the question, and there's some other matters as well. Essentially, it's a group of retirees you're referring to who would like to have funds from the room cover over be used to fund the GRS.
Turning to some crime reports, police say on Monday, June 19th, 22-year-old Hubert Willis Lee, a.k.a. Blackest, was arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant issued by U.S. Virgin Islands Superior Court magistrate. Lee is charged with rape first, kidnapping for rape, false imprisonment, assault first, assault third, carrying or using a dangerous weapon during a commission of a crime, unauthorized possession of a firearm, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and robbery first. Here's VIPD's Glenn Drake with more.
Lee was apprehended by the U.S. Marshal Service in North Carolina and is now in custody at the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, awaiting extradition back to St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Hubert Willis Lee Jr. is a suspect in connection to the East End Road carjack and rape that took place on Thursday, May 6th, when the 911 emergency call center received a call at approximately 11:36 p.m. in reference to a carjacking at the East End Road just outside Christiansted. Victim 1 made contact with 911 and stated that she was traveling with a friend on the East End Road when a vehicle started hitting them from behind, causing them to stop. They were separated and her friend was taken by the individuals to another location. Victim 2 later was able to contact 911 and stated that she was sexually assaulted, and the victim was then transported to the Wang F. Louis Hospital for examination. Crime Stoppers VI tips resulted in the apprehension of Hubert Lee Jr., aka Blackus.
Meanwhile, on Saturday, June 17th at approximately 5:54 p.m., citizens called 911 and reported rapid gunfire in the Scott-Free roadway. Minutes later, a citizen called and reported a Jeep Wrangler struck a wall and appeared to have an unresponsive male in that vehicle. Upon responding officers' arrival to the scene, contact was made with the unresponsive black male in the driver's seat that appeared to have suffered multiple gunshot wounds about the body. EMTs on the scene reported that the male had no vital signs and he succumbed to his injuries. The male was identified by next of kin as 32-year-old Jakima Moore of Scott-Free. Anyone having information about this crime, you are urged to contact the Virgin Islands Police Department, 774-2211, Criminal Investigation Bureau, 340-714-9807. You can also contact Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS or 911. This matter is currently under investigation. Police say on Saturday, June 17th, members of the Criminal Investigation Bureau arrested 22-year-old Misaela Melendez on a warrant issued by Superior Court Magistrate for assault third. They say on May 13th, Melendez slashed the face of a female in a local nightclub. Her bail was set at $40,000. She was remanded to the Golden Grove Corrections Detention Center pending advice of rights hearing. Anyone having any information about these crimes, please contact the Virgin Islands Police Department or the Criminal Investigation Bureau or Crime Stoppers as well. Attorney General Claude Walker and Board of Elections Supervisor Carolyn Fox, along with the Virgin Islands 32nd Legislature's Chief Counsel Yvonne Tharps, making up the titling board that will meet with the Government Retirees for Fairness, Inc., also known as GRUF, to have public hearing on the launch of a ballot initiative proposal. A ballot initiative is a petition signed by a minimum number of registered voters to force a public vote or referendum. In this case, GRUF is requested to amend local law to secure a steady revenue stream to GERS from local rum surcharges. The public hearing will be held via video conference on both St. Thomas and St. Croix tomorrow, June 20th at 5:30 p.m. On St. Croix, the conferencing will occur at the Attorney General's conference room, which is located in Castle Coakley. On St. Thomas, the conference will take place at the Attorney General's conference room at the GERS building on the second floor. Well, our new St. John Festival princess is Yamilet Diaz-Reyes. She won the title late Sunday night at the Winston Wells Ballpark. Contestant number 1 was Mariela Matia Reneso and contestant number 2, Shanoya M. Barry. All the young ladies dazzled the crowd with great poise and grace on stage, and we will be sharing some pictures and video with you throughout the week as soon as we get it. Meanwhile, the rain didn't dampen the spirits as the crowd cheered enthusiastically for all the young ladies. Now, coming up is the Festival Queen Show. That's on June 24th. 1 p.m. at the Powell Park in Cruz Bay. 2016 Queen Steffi Nicholas will be giving up that crown. She's there pictured right there, center. Giving up the crown to one of the 4 beautiful contestants picture there as well, so be sure to mark it on the calendar. Coming up soon, we got the food fair on June 25th at the Powell Park in Cruz Bay. We got the boat races. Festival Village opens. The boat races on June 25th, 3 p.m. The Cruz Bay Harbor. Festival Village opens June 28th, 7 p.m. in the Cruz Bay parking lot. We'll turn our attention to London. Evening worship turned to terror as a van plowed into people leaving a mosque in North London. It happened early Monday morning, just after midnight local time, at the Finsbury Park Mosque after Ramadan prayers had concluded. London Metropolitan Police said a 48-year-old male suspect was arrested at the scene. Video and pictures provided by witnesses show a man being detained and then later arrested by police. Met Police have not yet released an image of the person they took into custody. Extra police officers have been deployed, and officials say they are investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. This is the third attack in London since March that involves using a vehicle as a weapon against pedestrians. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch with the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers, we can see the Dow up 144, NASDAQ 87, S&P 500 up 20. Coming up on News 2, commencement ceremonies continue. We have highlights from CAHS and Ivana Udokan High School. That's coming up after the break. We'll be right back. Congratulations to all our graduates. Commencement ceremonies occurred over the weekend. Two of some of the biggest here in St. Thomas. 220 graduates stepped into the future after they accepted their diplomas at the Shaldomali High School's Centennial Class of 2017 graduation at the UVI Sports and Fitness Center. The center was filled with loud cheers and applause, especially after the top 10 graduates were recognized. Of the 220 graduates, 98% are college-bound, 2% plan to enter the armed forces. There were 98 honor students and $2.9 million awarded in scholarships. The valedictorian is Aisha Griffin, the salutatorian Roberto Tirado Jr. Both shared great inspirational words with their fellow classmates. Meanwhile, 208 diplomas were handed out during the commencement of the Ivana Udokan High School. The class was in full force. The Val was Kiera Paris and the Sal, Kiana Potter. The number attending college is 126, number attending graduate school 20, number attending the military 28, and the total amount of scholarships and grants more than $5.6 million. Also, the class took some time out to remember Akil Gregg Jr., a classmate who passed away. Here's more.
And how can I forget the teachers that have paved the way for me and made my senior year memorable? Mr. Douglas, you fill my mornings with laughter, and thank you for always believing in me. For Sergeant Fred, you pushed me to strive for great things. Miss Vickers, you made me cry, but you gave me the biggest challenge. Mr. Jurgen, you made me realize that sometimes change is good. Miss Matthew, thank you for always listening to us, even when you don't have the time. Miss Petty, thank you for putting up with all of us every single day. And Miss Illis, thanks for being so sweet and giving me an experience of a lifetime. Teachers, there are no words to adequately express all that you do each and every day.
I've learned in my time in this prestigious institution that with a positive attitude, nothing is impossible. Many of us are living examples of what a positive attitude can produce. Furthermore, it is because we believed that we could be successful that we sit here tonight with our heads held high. It is because we believed that we could achieve, that we achieved this milestone tonight. And it is only because we continue to believe with all our hearts that we are great, that great things will continue to happen for us.
Again, congratulations to all graduates. The USVI Hotel and Tourism Association's 24th annual Destination Symposium is being held. It's already underway until the 23rd. This year, they are celebrating the theme Centennial. Representatives from several of the top travel companies, they are gathering for the 5-day event to meet with on-island travel partners and to discuss various projects, marketing initiatives, and more. Now, not only does the symposium allow wholesalers to learn more about what we have to offer here in the VI, but it also gives local businesses a chance to show off their products and services. The symposium kicked off today. However, business meetings will be held on Tuesday at Sugar Bay Resort and Spa with the U.S. VI Department of Tourism giving a marketing and public relations presentation. We will have those highlights. Well, we are so proud of our former co-worker, Telly. Again, he's winning again. He honors the Telly again. They honor the very best films, videos, and commercials. The winners of the 30th annual Telly. They were named. Awards have been announced with over 12,000 entries from all of the 50 states and 5 continents. The Telly Awards has named Natafa Romain as a 2-time bronze winner in the 38th annual Telly Awards. Romain also took home bronze in the People's Choice category for Taste of the Caribbean. Here he is with some of the details.
Yeah, so literally 2 days ago found out that Ambassadors won for 3rd consecutive year at the Tellys, winning the Best Documentary category, won bronze in that category, and then Taste of the Caribbean, Team USVI, won the bronze in the People's Telly Awards, which is more of a popular vote where the viewers get to, log on and vote for the show. So yeah, it was pretty exciting to get those 2 wins this year, 3rd consecutive year that we've been nominated and then brought home awards. So bringing some quality TV to from the VI to the national stage has been pretty cool. So the process for choosing an ambassador is pretty simple, actually. It's really more or less about networking and reaching out to the people that I grew up with or people that I know grew up with. And you end up finding some pretty outstanding individuals. For instance, there's a young lady who was one of the engineers with Watson from IBM, who's from St. Thomas. She's going to be one of the guests on the show as well. So it's just like the different stories that you end up finding by networking, by actually going on social media, and just frankly being nosy to find out the people that are doing big things up in the States. So this season on Ambassadors, we have some very cool individuals from the territory doing big things up in the States. One of the folks off the top of my head is Louis Perez, director of photography out in Los Angeles. Worked on a number of music videos, a number of films. We actually went on tour with Rock City. They were out there with Maroon 5 on a national tour, so we linked up with them while they were on one of their stops. And so we have a lot of different people coming up this season, not just in the entertainment field, but also in business.
Congrats to you, Natafa. And speaking of Rock City, we have some news a little later on in the newscast. Meanwhile, surrounded by good music and great food over on St. Croix, the Caribbean Food Network food and wine tasting and after-party event that was held at the Carambola Beach Resort on Saturday. It was a huge success. Partygoers were treated to specialty dishes and appetizers from Carambola's sous chef, Don Chef Dex Wilshire. A main goal of that Caribbean Food Network is to showcase the food, local ingredients, restaurants, and talent of the U.S. Virgin Islands chefs, which can increase tourism by promoting the territory as a culinary vacation destination. Here's more.
To have a certain style of cooking, and I feel that a lot of people from the States, you could come down and try the different dishes. A lot of chefs right now, like myself, are infusing the stateside and the Caribbean together. You could taste the paradise and you could also see the paradise. So I'm very excited to have St. Croix on the map, not just an island to just come out and enjoy the beaches, but the food and the different chefs and culinary experience you could have on this island.
It's very important to St. Croix because it can attract tourism, people who are interested in wine, food, just creating a food destination for many people that is interested.
I'd just like to thank everyone for the great event that came out tonight. As you can see, the crowd, the energy is great. A lot of people see the Virgin Islands are really about how great our food is, so I'm forever grateful for that opportunity.
Great event there. Well, Rock City, our city, has been in the VI performing and filming more than one video. The men behind the scenes, Tony Bon Jovi of Gears and White Winston of Digitac, they teamed up and they stopped in our studios to share more about the work, the shoot, the inspiration, and what we can expect when these videos are released. Here's more.
Wherever we go, we pretty much we do a music video there. Like, we try to show love to the area that we go to. So, you know, we just came out from Aguila, we came out from VG. Everywhere we go, we usually go for a show. So we have like a day to like shoot a whole music video. So, you know, we knew we were coming out here. We had the 2 shows and we had like a week in between. So we was like, yo, while we're in St. Thomas, let's shoot 4 videos. A lot of people came out and just donated time, or they volunteered their services, or they volunteered their resources, or the environment, or the location, or their boat, or, you know, whatever we needed. A lot of businesses and a lot of other creators were just getting involved, just helping out. So we really just gotta thank everybody that came out, from the dancers to the makeup artists to the body painters to the people who held cameras to the people who were just moving stuff around behind the scenes, the police department, Parks and Recreation for leaving us use the park. We shot all 3 of the bigger videos so far, and we have 1 more to do. And yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy week, like non-stop.
But the behind the scenes was amazing, to say the least. Yeah. It was. We were up and down. We were running. And it was like every night we're going to sleep at like 3-4 to wake up to the next morning to get everything together. You know, it's like, you know, we did it with minimal crew, so you know how that works. Crew. You know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see these videos, we should say, and be sure to tune in. We will keep you updated. Well, this Father's Day, many were out celebrating in Frenchtown for the annual Father's Day celebration, celebrating the 100th VI Transfer Centennial. From Friday to Sunday, there was some nightly entertainment. It began with an open ceremony. On that Friday, it was the crowning of Miss Carenage, Destiny Peterson, right there. And they also kind of looked back on some of the former Miss Carenage, going all the way back to 1970. Also, many danced to the sounds of Latin performer Victor El Peri. The popular Top Notch Band was also there. On Saturday, it was Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights and Spectrum Band. Sunday, the final night, music was heard from Poison Band and Cool Sessions Brass. Many say a wonderful time was had by all. Stick around, we have your News to AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
May be the hottest one yet, as the St. Kitts Music Festival celebrates 21 years of world-class music from June 22nd to the 24th. Come and experience the intoxicating beauty of St. Kitts while enjoying sizzling hot performances by Third World, Shabba Ranks, Goo Dolls, Mavado, Jackie, and a whole lot more. Follow your heart to the St. Kitts Music Festival this June. It's sure to be an experience like no other.
We're keeping a close eye on 2 different systems in the Atlantic right now. One is to our west and certainly not a concern locally, although this one will bring some heavy rain into the Gulf Coast of the U.S. and it is producing some very heavy rain and some flooding into the Yucatan, Cancun, Cozumel, and western Cuba as well. Not yet a closed circulation, but we might see this become a tropical storm very soon. Of greater concern for us is this system, and that's going to cross the Trinidad and Tobago area and even the ABC Islands. They don't see that many storms, but that's going to be down to the south. Eventually, it's going to get closer to us, and it probably will move through the area. But the good news here is that there's a lot of wind shear over our heads, and that's going to protect us to some degree from anything too menacing rolling on in. But we certainly need to keep an eye on things. Satellite estimated radar showing areas already seeing some very heavy rain into the Windward Islands, and our current radar showing some storms firing over Puerto Rico. Things are a little quieter into St. Thomas, St. John, and into St. Croix. So tonight, 82 degrees, a little quiet out there. and we'll be staying warm tomorrow, back up to 91 in St. John with a shower or two in the area. Showers are going to increase when that system draws near in the middle of the week and later this week. 91 into St. Thomas, but it won't rain the whole day. And hopefully you can enjoy it in St. Croix to the south with a shower or two. Looking at the marine forecast, it's getting active out there. Big waves, 5 to 7 footers. Be careful if you're going to be on a boat, and a wind from the east at 10 to 20 knots. On the Caribbean side, it's almost as large when it comes to the wave height, 4 to 6 footers out there with similar wind. As we look at that extended forecast, you can see we're going to get into some trouble. Showers and thunderstorms increasing into the middle of the week as that system down into Trinidad and Tobago right now kind of rounds the bend. It's not going to entirely reach us, though, in a strong state. In fact, most of it will stay to the south as it weakens, and that's the good news thanks to the shear overhead. We hang out in the low 90s with some additional showers here and there into the end of the week. Sandy, back to you.
Thank you for that. Time for a NEWS2 weather picture there by Tara Rollins, 11 years of age, representing Niski Moravian School, bringing us some bright blue skies and some sunshine. Nice colors there, Tara. Brighten things up at the beginning of the week. Thank you for that. Send us your NEWS2 weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to include your name, age, school, and brief description of your work of art. And then, of course, tune in to see it right here on NEWS2. So we have two systems out there, partly cloudy, a shower or two. We'll take it. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Have a wonderful evening.